Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes we get some surprises, and while the surprises are cool, it's not what we're looking for, right? For instance, maybe a magician does a trick. Maybe the magician pulls a quarter out of your ass. Yeah, that is an impressive trick, but it's not what I'm looking for. And I feel like that's how, news with Nintendo is going lately. Some stuff is cool, some stuff is impressive, but it's not quite what I'm looking for. So lucky for us, in this video we have some very interesting rumors, updates, leaks, news, whatever, and a lot of it is pretty exciting. So let's go ahead and get right into this video. So as you can see, I'm still in an Airbnb, but I record these videos a day in advance. So actually, while this video is going live at 11 a.m., I will be on an airplane headed back home. So all future videos will be back from my house. So thanks for hanging out with me while I was out of town. Even though I was out of town though, the news was not stopping. There was updates all the time. In this video, we have really surprising updates, really interesting rumors, really interesting leaks, probably some other stuff that I'm forgetting. So before we get started, if you could hit a like and subscribe, that would really mean the world to me, truly. And follow me on Instagram and Twitter so we can keep these communities growing. And let's go ahead and get right into this one. So first, quickly, I just want to recap the Nintendo Indie World Showcase or whatever. I thought about waking up to stream the event, and then I was like, why? Why don't I just get extra sleep instead? And it turns out that was a great choice. But I did end up watching the presentation, and I'll be honest, there was a couple of things that I thought looked interesting, some stuff that looked impressive, but nothing that I really cared about. Actually, the very first thing they opened up with, it was called like Densha Attack, I think, where it was like a skateboarding bus game or whatever. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. And then they ended the presentation with Blueprints, I think that's the name of the game. A huge game that came out last year. I think it was even nominated for Game of the Year, possibly. So this is cool. It's like a really interesting puzzle game. I like stuff like this, but then a lot of people are saying like they like stuff like this as well, and then they started playing it and it wasn't what they expected. So this is something I'll probably pick up on like an eShop sale eventually, but I do know this was a game that was like highly sought after and people could not wait to show up on the Switch 2. So it is very cool that it did make an appearance, because again, like, look at the library, man. Already, not even a year into this console, and look at the library. Now, we started this week with an Indie World, which is technically a Nintendo Direct, which is pretty cool, and it makes me think we're going outside the realms of like normal scheduling. So I really could see another Direct happening this month. But later on this week, we have Pokemon Pokopia. And I went from starting off as I don't care about this game at all. Then I was thinking, well, it does look a little interesting. Then I learned about the team who made it is the same team as Dragon Quest Builders. And I was like, well, maybe I will pick it up. Pretty much every time they show it off, I'm like more on board. And now I think I'm definitely going to play it. I don't know about right away because I have other stuff that I want to play first. And I'm not just going to buy games just to hold on to them. You know what I mean? Like if I'm buying a game, it's because I'm playing it. But I will say this. Right now on Metacritic, Pokemon Pokopia has an 88. And it's just incredible. Now I think earlier, maybe yesterday, or maybe even earlier today, the game had a 90 or 92. And I was seeing headlines from news articles going around saying this is the highest rated Pokemon game of all time. Look, maybe it's not for you. Maybe you're never going to play it. Maybe you don't care at all. But we really have to keep it real here. It seems like a lot of passion and work went into this one. Yes, it's a spin-off, but it is a Pokemon game. And I think they found something magical here. It's essentially like Animal Crossing and Stardew Valley, mixed with Pokemon, mixed with Minecraft. What could be a bigger recipe for success? So, the game will be out, I think, tomorrow at the time of this video releasing. And I'm very curious to see how this will be received by like the general audiences. So now let me tell you a heartbreaking story, right? And I don't know if this is true. I could be wrong, but the timing is just peculiar. So today, Bandai Namco put out a trailer saying they are releasing or revealing a brand new RPG very soon. It seems to be a new IP or something, whatever. So the reason why this is a heartbreaking story, now that the channel is doing better and we're growing, I'm getting more opportunities to work with brands and do sponsorships and brand deals and whatever. And I had a company reach out to me, or like a mediator company. I think they represent a game studio. And they said that there is a new RPG being revealed or coming out soon, something like that. And they're interested in me promoting it on my channel. What are my rates? And then I sent them over my rates to do like a dedicated video or sponsorship, whatever. Then they wrote back to me saying, well, that might be a little too high. And I don't even know how much I'm supposed to charge companies when they ask this question. It's a weird thing about being a YouTuber. But I thought I charged them something fairly. Then they said, you know, it might be a little too high, but we'll still work something out. Maybe something of a smaller offer we'll counter with, but don't worry, we're gonna work with you. And I said, cool. You know, at that point, I basically wanted to say, you know what? Give me anything. I just wanna work with whatever this project is. So I believe it was yesterday morning, they emailed me back and were like, at this time, the campaign is filled up and they're not gonna go with you at this time, but we're gonna work with you in the future. If I can find the email, I'll put it on the screen, but I was like, damn. You know, you can't lose something you never had, but it still hurt inside because I love RPGs and JRPGs. And then today, I wake up and Bandai Namco is revealing a new RPG later this week, I think. So I'm just saying, I don't know if it's this game for sure, but the timing is very interesting. So now I just want to say, I hope this game blossoms and becomes the best-selling game of all time, and I wish them all the success. Or do I? So now before we get into 2 leaks, I want to highlight something that Necro Felipe just said that is very interesting, right? This isn't a rumor, this isn't a really anything. This is just a theory, but it makes quite a bit of sense. And, you know, maybe this will bring back a term that they said at the beginning of the Switch 2, variable pricing. I remember, I haven't seen it yet, but I do remember that term. So Necro Felipe says, there's an interesting question raised by one of his colleagues at Incognita Games. Tomodachi Life, Living the Dream, does not have prices set in Latin America and Brazil. And, you know, normally when a game comes out in, for the lack of better words, like a poorer country, the game will be priced cheaper, you know? And then when you're in like America or one of the countries that have a little bit more money, the game will be priced a little bit higher. We see this all the time. But Tomodachi Life, Living the Dream, does not have that in Latin America and Brazil. So they're saying the potential adjustment could lead Nintendo to already price the game at a lower value standard for the countries. So maybe this game will be cheaper, like straight out the gate, right? Maybe this will just be like a $40 release. Just saying that right now, it's like, there's no way it's going to be $40, but maybe the game will be cheaper at release. Maybe it won't be $60 or $70. Maybe this is where variable pricing will show up, because it is a pretty niche game. You know what I mean? Like if this was $70, and it's kind of a hard sell to like explain what the hell is going on. Realistically, that doesn't sound the best as a business practice. So maybe it's $50, like just worldwide, a $50 release. And yeah, that would be pretty cool, right? Because they said the term variable pricing. I remember Doug Bowser. I know you're not in charge anymore, but you said variable pricing, and I have not seen it yet. Wheelchair basketball was $20, and the welcome tour is $10. That does not count. So now let's get into 2 leaks coming from Nash Weedle, and I know it's like hearing good news from the devil, right? A lot of you guys have pulled out your pitchforks because there was no direct in February when they said February, but they also said February or March. Like a lot of people are just leaving out that or March part. And I know we all want news. We want a new Nintendo Direct, a first party one. We want some new Mario news. So when people say something has the potential to happen and it doesn't happen, everybody turns on them. Oh, that's a bad guy right there. And that's fair, right? But me, I like to have fun. It's all entertainment. It's fun to speculate. I already mentioned this in another video. So I guess until March is over and there's no new Nintendo Direct or mention of Mario, I guess maybe my opinion will change then. But for the time being, it's fun to cover this stuff. So first, Nash Widow claims Mercury Steam are working on a Super Metroid remake and have been for a while. And say what you want about Nash Weedle, but you gotta remember they were the first person to leak out Metroid Dread and like all the details, and had 1 million leaks for Metroid Dread, and all of them came true. So it seems like they actually do know somebody at Mercury Steam, or have like an actual source there. So as far as leaks go, whenever it's like Metroid related stuff, at least with I guess Mercury Steam, it's like, yeah, your track record there is pretty flawless. So this one is a good one to entertain. Yeah, this would be really cool, right? A lot of people consider Super Metroid the greatest Metroid game of all time, or at least like the definitive Metroid game. I have never played it, or maybe I have played it for like 10 minutes. I'm not the biggest Metroid fan. It's not that I don't care about the franchise and I hope it succeeds. It's just, it's really never been my thing. Although I do hope it succeeds and has like a lot of success, because it's just a net positive, right? Like Metroid and Samus are great characters. But I will say this, I do think 2D Metroid is where Metroid shines the best. I think Metroid Dread was an amazing game. It would be cool to get more 3D Metroid games in the future, but a Super Metroid Remake, just with better mechanics, graphics, maybe some extra stuff added in, it just seems like a sure sign of success. Now the other thing they say is Leak Express. Devil May Cry has its sights set on the Switch 2. It seems that the proximity of a new installment is making them consider launching previous installments on Nintendo's consoles. And if I'm not mistaken, I think we have the first 3 Devil May Cry games on the Switch, and I guess the Switch 2 as well. I'm actually not sure if they are remastered versions, like the ports on the Switch, or they're just straight up ports. Devil May Cry, man, I have not played this series in like 15 years, maybe 20 years or something. It's been so damn long. But I think there's also Devil May Cry 4 and 5. So maybe they're saying 4 and 5 will port over to the Switch and Switch 2 as well. And then they also say, in any case, I'm told the next Devil May Cry won't skip Nintendo's console. And I think this is like confirmed, right? The next Devil May Cry 6 maybe, or whatever, has been like confirmed to be in development for a while, and might even be revealed this year. I remember reading something about it. So, I mean, if you're making a game and the game could come over to the Switch 2, would you not be developing it for the Switch 2? Aside from something maybe like GTA 6, where it's like, yeah, just focus on the PlayStation and Xbox for now. Just from the outside looking in, it seems like 75% of the games that are coming out in the future or in development right now, if you do a little work, they can definitely make it on the Switch 2. Devil May Cry is awesome. The anime that's on Netflix is so damn good. And I think that is confirmed to have a new season as well. So maybe the game and the anime will show up about the same time. But yeah, I would be so happy if we got Devil May Cry 4 and 5. And then eventually whatever the new release is. This is actually a series I might go all the way back and start on 1 and just play through all if we do get 4 and 5. It's just such a good ass series, man. But, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think about this? Because your opinion matters most. So, in the comments below, I would love to hear from you. And truly, like, I know it doesn't really matter where you make a video at, but this is not ideal. I'm like on a little shitty rolling chair, and microphone's not connected. I will say this, though, this is crazy. This ring light right here was just in one of the closets in this Airbnb. It was meant to be. It was meant for me to make videos while I'm here. So that's pretty cool. But I will be home whenever you see me in the next video. So thanks for hanging out with me. Hit a like and subscribe on the way out. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter on the way out. Consider becoming a channel member. That would truly mean the world to me. And you guys know me. I will see you very soon with a new video. Peace.